Hey everyone, Denai Gung here, and let's be honest, we've all been there, haven't we? That moment when a simple discussion starts to heat up, your chest tightens, your palms get sweaty, and suddenly you're in the thick of a stressful conversation, wondering how on earth you got there, and more importantly, how you're going to get out of it without everything blowing up. It's a deeply human experience, this dance with conflict. And it can feel incredibly isolating and overwhelming when we're in the middle of it. We often wish we could just avoid these moments altogether, but what if I told you that these very interactions, the ones that make us want to run and hide, actually hold the key to deeper understanding and stronger connections? It sounds counterintuitive, I know. Our natural instinct when faced with stress and potential conflict is often to armor up, to protect ourselves. But what if the path to resolving these tense moments, to truly connecting with the person on the other side, lies not in building thicker walls, but in finding the courage to be a little more open, a little more vulnerable, even when it's scary? It's about learning to stay present, to listen with our whole selves, and to speak our truth with kindness and respect, even when the butterflies in our stomach are doing acrobatics. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to show up. Today we're going to explore just that. We're going to delve into how we can master these stressful conversations, not by becoming conflict ninjas who never feel a thing, but by becoming more human, more connected, and more skilled in navigating the beautiful, messy art of communication. We'll unpack why these conversations are so hard, what typically goes wrong, and most importantly, how we can approach them with new tools and a new mindset, one that allows us to stay cool, find resolution, and maybe, just maybe, transform these moments of friction into opportunities for genuine connection. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's get started on this journey together. So let's first talk about what's actually happening inside us when stress crashes the conversation party. It's not just in our heads. Our bodies are hardwired for a response. Think about it, that racing heart, the shallow breathing, maybe your shoulders tense up towards your ears. This is your amygdala, your brain's ancient alarm system, screaming danger, threat. It's a physiological cascade, often called the fight, flight, or freeze response, designed to protect us from, say, a saber-toothed tiger. The problem is, our brains often react with the same intensity to a cutting remark or a perceived attack in a conversation as they would to a physical threat. Our biology, in these moments, isn't really optimized for nuanced dialogue, empathy, or creative problem-solving. When your body is flooded with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, higher-level thinking takes a back seat. Your ability to truly listen plummets because you're subconsciously scanning for danger. Empathy becomes a luxury you can't afford when your system is convinced it's under siege. Recognizing that these physical reactions are normal, that they are part of our shared human experience, is the very first crucial step. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign your body is doing what it was designed to do, albeit sometimes at the wrong moments. When we feel that stress response kicking in, that sense of being threatened or vulnerable, we often instinctively reach for our communication armor. These are the common mistakes we make, the behaviors that feel protective in the moment but actually sabotage any chance of real resolution or connection. One of the big ones is interrupting. It's like we're so desperate to get our point across, to defend our position, that we steamroll the other person, signaling that what they have to say isn't as important. Then there's blaming. You always do this, or it's your fault that, which immediately puts the other person on the defensive, creating an adversarial dynamic rather than a collaborative one. And oh, the raised voice. It's a primal attempt to assert dominance or convey the intensity of our feelings, but it rarely makes the other person more receptive. Often, it just escalates the tension. Avoidance is another common tactic. We might shut down, change the subject, or physically leave the room, hoping the problem will magically disappear. It won't. And let's not forget overgeneralizing with words like always and never. These sweeping statements are rarely accurate and serve to invalidate the other person's experience, making them feel unseen and unheard. These are all shields we use, but they keep us from the connection we crave. So, if armoring up doesn't work, what does? It starts with cultivating a different set of internal resources, our guiding principles for more effective, more courageous communication. First and foremost is self-awareness. This means tuning into our own bodies, noticing our triggers, recognizing when we're starting to feel overwhelmed or defensive, we react. It's about asking, what's going on for me right now? Then there's active listening. This isn't just waiting for our turn to talk. It's about truly trying to understand the other person's perspective, listening, not just to their words, but to the feelings underneath. It's about showing up with curiosity, and then the mighty I statement. Instead of, you make me so angry, try, I feel angry when specific behavior happens because impact on me. This allows us to own our feelings and experiences without attacking the other person, fostering a space for dialogue rather than defensiveness. Clarity is also key. Being clear and specific about our needs and concerns, avoiding vague accusations, and we can't forget nonverbal communication. Our posture, tone of voice, eye contact, these speak volumes, often louder than our words. Aligning our nonverbals with our verbal message builds trust and shows we're truly present. Chapter 4. The Roadmap to Resolution. A step-by-step guide. Okay, let's get practical. How do we actually walk through one of these conversations? Think of this as a roadmap. The first step, and it's a big one, is to prepare mentally if you can. If you know a tough conversation is coming, take a few moments to ground yourself. What's your intention? What outcome are you hoping for? Remind yourself to stay curious. Then when you begin, try to start with empathy. Acknowledge the other person's feelings or perspective if you can. Something like, I can see this is frustrating for you too. This can create a softer entry point. Next, state the problem respectfully using those I statements we talked about, focusing on the issue, not the person. For example, I'm concerned about X and I'd like to talk about how we can work on it together. Then comes the crucial part. Listen and reflect. After they speak, try to summarize what you heard. So, if I understand correctly, you're feeling Y because of Z. This shows you're truly trying to get it. Then shift the focus towards solutions. Brainstorm together what are some options here. And finally, confirm understanding and agreement. So we're agreed that we'll try A and check back in on B. This ensures everyone is on the same page. Chapter 5, Beyond Our Own Backyard, Cultural and Personal Lenses in Conflict. It's so important to remember that the way we communicate, especially during conflict, isn't universal. It's shaped by a tapestry of influences, including our cultural backgrounds, our unique personality types, and our past experiences. What might be considered direct and assertive in one culture could be perceived as rude or aggressive in another. Some cultures value emotional expressiveness during conflict, while others prioritize stoicism and restraint. Being sensitive to these cultural nuances isn't about stereotyping. It's about approaching conversations with humility and a willingness to learn, understanding that our communication style isn't the only right way. Similarly, individual personalities play a huge role. An introverted person might need more time to process and articulate their thoughts in a heated moment, while an extrovert might feel comfortable thinking out loud. Past experiences, especially previous negative encounters with conflict, can also create sensitivities or trigger strong emotional responses. The key here is curiosity and adaptation. Paying attention to cues, perhaps even gently asking questions like, how do you prefer to handle disagreements? Or, what would be most helpful for you in this conversation? This shows respect and a genuine desire to connect across differences. Chapter 6. Permission to pause. When emotions overwhelm the conversation, There will be times, despite our best intentions and skills, when emotions run too high. You'll feel it, that escalating tension, the point where productive dialogue seems impossible, where you or the other person might be close to saying something you'll regret. This is the moment when the bravest and most constructive thing you can do is to call for a pause. It's not a sign of failure or weakness. It's an act of profound self-awareness and respect for the relationship and the conversation itself. Think of it as hitting the reset button before the system crashes. You can say something like, I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed right now and I want to make sure I can hear you properly. Could we take a 10-minute break and then come back to this? During that pause, the goal isn't to rehearse your arguments or stew in your anger. It's to self-soothe, take some deep breaths, splash water on your face, step outside. It's also a chance to reframe your thoughts, reconnect with your intention for the conversation, and remind yourself of the importance of the relationship. This intentional pause can transform a potentially destructive interaction into a manageable one. Now let's talk about two incredibly powerful tools for de-escalating tension and rebuilding trust: sincere apologies and genuine accountability. These often get a bad rap, sometimes seen as admissions of defeat or weakness. But I believe a true apology, one that comes from the heart, is an act of immense courage and strength. It's about acknowledging our part in the conflict, the impact of our words or actions without making excuses or deflecting blame. A real apology isn't "I'm sorry if you felt that way." It's "I'm truly sorry for" specific action and for the hurt or frustration it caused. Accountability goes hand in hand with a sincere apology. It's not just about saying the words, it's about demonstrating that you understand your role and are committed to making things right or doing things differently in the future. It might involve asking, "What can I do to make this better?" Or stating, "I'm going to work on specific behavior change." When we own our mistakes and take responsibility, we create safety. We show the other person that we value the relationship more than our ego, and this can be incredibly disarming, paving the way for repair and reconnection. Mastering stressful conversations isn't something you learn just by watching a video or reading a book. It's a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. We need to build that communication muscle. One incredibly effective way to do this is through role-playing. It might feel a bit awkward at first, but practicing with a trusted friend, a mentor, or a coach in a low-stakes environment can be invaluable. You can try out different phrases, experiment with those as statements, and get feedback on how your approach lands. It's like a dress rehearsal for the real thing, allowing you to build confidence and new habits. Another powerful practice is journaling. After a difficult conversation, or even in anticipation of one, take some time to write about it. What were you feeling? What were your triggers? What did you say or do that you're proud of? What would you do differently next time? This kind of self-reflection helps us understand our patterns and identify areas for growth. And don't underestimate the value of seeking out more formal learning like workshops or coaching on conflict resolution or assertive communication. Investing in these skills is investing in healthier, more connected relationships across all areas of your life. So, as we journey through this process of learning to navigate stressful conversations with more grace and skill, it's crucial to remember the ultimate goal. It's not about winning arguments or being right. It's about transforming moments of potential division into opportunities for deeper understanding and stronger connection. Conflict, when handled with care, courage, and the right tools, doesn't have to be destructive. In fact, it can be incredibly generative. It's in these moments of navigating differences that we truly get to know ourselves and others on a more authentic level. When we choose to stay engaged, to listen with empathy, to speak our truth with respect, and to take responsibility for our part, we are doing the brave work of relationship building. These aren't just skills for resolving disagreements, they are skills for fostering intimacy, trust, and resilience in all our interactions. Each challenging conversation we approach with this new awareness becomes a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. It's an invitation to show up, to be seen, and to see others more clearly, ultimately turning points of friction into a flow of genuine human connection. So here we are, we've walked through the physiology of stress, the common pitfalls we fall into, and most importantly, the pathways to navigating these tough conversations with more courage and skill. And if there's one thing I hope you take away from our time together today, it's that this work, the work of communicating through stress and conflict, is fundamentally about connection. It's about having the courage to show up, to be vulnerable, and to stay in the conversation even when it's hard. Because the truth is, connection is why we're here. It's what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. This isn't about achieving perfection in every interaction. Lord knows I still stumble. We all do. It's messy, this human experience. But it's about the willingness to try, to learn from those stumbles, and to keep choosing courage over comfort. It's about daring to lean into the discomfort, because that's where growth happens. That's where understanding deepens, and that's where trust is forged. These skills we've talked about are not just strategies, they are invitations to bring more of our whole selves to our relationships, to be more authentic, and to build bridges even when it feels like we're worlds apart. So, my invitation to you is this: be brave. Practice these tools, even if it's just in small ways at first. Be kind to yourself in the process. And remember that every time you choose to engage with empathy and respect, even in the face of stress, you are not only transforming that single conversation, but you are also strengthening the fabric of your relationships and contributing to a more connected world. Thank you for joining me, Denai Agong, on this journey. Go out there and connect.